I went back and listened to episode number 10 of this podcast. It was called the Hyperconscious Podcast at the time. And I said something very idiotic / profound. And I was talking about how when you set goals and you are really, really committed to those goals, I think it is potentially beneficial to look at them as life or death scenarios. We're going to talk about if that's dumb as shit or not.
I used to say this way back in those days. Chase your dreams as if your life depends on it, because it fucking does.
Next Level Nation. Today, for episode number 2092, how seriously do you actually take your dreams? Very rare do you get 2 swears in the first 40 seconds of the podcast. That's what you're going to get today. Today's going to be a hardcore episode. It is what it is. I went back and listened to episode number 10. Better than I thought.
Nice.
Honestly, better than I thought.
What, was I there?
No,
Solo.
that's why. That's why it was better than I thought. Because it was just me, baby. Me and my thoughts in the living room.
By the way, how funny is it for you to listen to yourself back then talking about how you got to go all in and how committed you have to be while you were taking naps on the break?
Taking naps, smoking weed. At that point, I mean, this was episode 10, so this was 2017. There was not a lot of all-inness.
Can you tell me, this is very selfish of me, but I need
Please.
it. Tell me one of the lines that was super hardcore about you just gotta fucking whatever, and then tell me your truth about what that kid was saying.
The entire episode was how do you pick yourself back up after you fall on your face, essentially. So this was after the Justin Wren. Yeah, this was the I got my dream interview 9 episodes in, did it. We talked about it recently. But the audio quality was brutal and I couldn't use it, and then they ghosted me when I tried to do a redo of the interview. So I was heartbroken. I was convinced that this is the end of the road. And this episode was me talking myself through and talking everybody else through what it's like to take a massive L and then keep going. And it was just, again, it was valuable. It was a valuable episode. It was. I'm certain there was value in this episode. But the thing I said was, when you set a goal, essentially you have to treat it like it is life or death. Because I think that's the only way you're going to end up getting it. Pretty hardcore. I didn't know what that meant at all. Not even a little bit. But it sounded really good.
Yeah.
It sounded really good, and that was what I felt. At the time...
What did you think it meant?
I thought it meant what we're doing today. Is what I thought it meant. It is. It is. This is life or death. What are we going to do? There's no...
Yeah, 100%.
You think I want to go get a fucking job? Not a chance. Not a fucking chance. Never. Never. This is what I thought it was. Alan and I went to Florida. This was before we lived in Florida, I believe, for the month. We went to Florida. Then the day we got there, we went from the airport to the gym. I remember when we got there, we landed. I was like, my allergies are bad. My throat feels tight. My chest feels tight. I'm having trouble breathing. I think my allergies are bad.
I love reminiscing.
Oh, it's brutal. But what we do when we travel is we go to the gym. And we were in really good shape at that point. That's one of my favorite pictures ever. And we're working out, and I think I got 3/4 of the way through the workout, and I was like, all right, man, I'm good. I don't feel good. My allergies are acting up really bad. I don't know what's going on. We go back to the hotel, and I had a panic attack. This is the first panic attack I ever had. I remember I texted my mom because I used to have really bad asthma when I was a kid. So I had an inhaler, I had a nebulizer, I had really bad asthma, I had really bad pneumonia often when I was a baby. And I texted my mom and I said, I think I'm having asthma attacks. I don't know what to do. And she said, you got to go to the hospital. And I was like, I don't have fucking insurance. I have no money. So I cannot afford to go to the hospital. So that ain't it. So Alan went to Walgreens or CVS and got me a care package.
Walmart, I think.
It was not the nicest area in the world.
1 a.m. or something.
Yeah. But I was like, dude, I need Vicks Vapor Rub. Just get me Vicks Vapor Rub. I'm going to put it under my nose to prove to myself that I'm able to breathe. And I remember just laying there.
I also got a heart rate monitor.
Yeah, I was freaking out. I didn't know what the hell it was. And then, so Alan came back and I survived the night, quote unquote. The next day, you went somewhere and I was like, dude, I can't go. I need to fucking stay here. I think I'm dying.
What did I do, man?
I think you went to one of our mentors' houses.
Okay.
At the time.
For what?
I don't remember. There was something going on.
An interview?
No, it wasn't an interview because, maybe it was you being interviewed on something. I don't know. Yeah. It wasn't an interview for the podcast.
You remember that interview? There was a guy there who was really into Buddhism. You remember that guy?
That was a strange
dude. That was yeah, for sure. I remember I got interviewed, and he was just watching, and he was about to go, and he had never been interviewed before, and I was young, especially I look young now, but I looked even younger then, and this mentor interviewed me live about fitness, and back then I didn't know that I communicate terrible. I just said I was very, very engineer without knowing I was engineer. Like, I had no concept that I was like, that was even back then when I didn't know that no one else thought in like engineering modalities. I don't even know how to explain it, but I just was fully me. Dude, some naive is good. And this guy was jaw to the floor type of, I remember him coming up to me going, what are you? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I just watched that interview. Like, where did you learn all that? And then I went through, what do you mean? That was back in the day when I had no fucking clue that I was any different than anyone else. It's such an interesting thing.
And you still were terrible, which is interesting. Like, all things considered.
Bad at communicating. I wasn't terrible in actual understanding.
No. But it's interesting how now, like, you wouldn't even look twice at that. Like, the you today wouldn't even look twice at that. You know? You wouldn't be impressed with that.
I would be impressed with the understanding, probably.
Yeah, but not the delivery.
Definitely not.
Not the delivery.
That was back when I didn't know that how much transcoding matters.
Yeah. Communication. Communication is transcoding. And again, nothing against Buddhism. I didn't mean that as the weird thing. It was just a weird fucking time in general. If you have Buddhist beliefs out there, you do your freaking thing.
Yeah. I want to make sure that I explain why I said that.
You are derailing my story horribly.
I know. I apologize. You are unique. Here, anyone out there watching or listening, you have to understand where you fall on the bell curve. I had no idea. And it's obvious now. But like IQ, EQ, understanding, intelligence, I didn't fully understand where I fell on that bell curve. And it's so obvious in hindsight. So the lesson in that is you got to understand where you fall on the bell curve. You have to. Otherwise, you'll never be able to actually communicate effectively to... Does that land? Does that make sense? Did you know? Did you know back then?
What?
Like, what did you think of that?
I wasn't... Think of what?
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. I was dying.
I think you were there for that one.
No, I'm pretty sure I was dying. This was like the fucking...
What did you think back in the day when you interviewed me?
I thought you knew so much.
Okay.
But I remember I said to Alan one time, I was like, I want to interview Alan Lazaros, not all the books Alan Lazaros has read, like the quotes. I don't want all the... tell me what you think, not what John Maxwell thinks. I want to know what you think.
Nice.
But I always thought you knew a ton. Yeah, for sure.
Is that obvious to people?
Yeah, I would say so. I wonder if it was more obvious then because you didn't communicate it well. So it was almost like I just assumed you knew everything and I didn't understand anything you were saying.
How interesting is that?
Right.
And now I actually dumb it down on purpose.
Well, you want to make it land.
Yeah.
You want to make it land.
I wonder if that's even useful. It's such an interesting conversation. Anyways, continue.
Having an identity crisis. So Alan went and did this interview. And I remember I got up and went to the bathroom and I had another panic attack in the bathroom. And I was lying on a pretty nice hotel, all things considered. Our mentor paid for it. So that was we were very gracious because we couldn't afford it. I remember lying on the floor in the bathroom thinking like, I'm serious. I was like, this is it. This is fucking it. I'm going to die right here all by myself in this crusty fucking hotel room. And Alan's gone.
Your delivery on that is fire.
And I was like, this is fucking terrible. That's what I thought I was talking about in episode number 10. And I had a moment, and again, I was scared. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, fucking bring it. No, I was terrified. But I had a moment of like, well, at least I'm doing my thing. At least I'm chasing my dreams. Like, it could be worse. It could be. I could drop dead doing a job I don't like. Alan ended up getting back. I laid in bed and watched all the James Bond movies that day. They were just...
Daniel Craig?
No, this was the old ones. This is Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was watching Pierce Brosnan ones.
Brutal.
Next day, we get up and we drive 4 or 5 hours south to do an interview with Eddie Pinheiro. And Alan, I usually drive. I drive us everywhere when we travel. Alan drove because I slept the whole ride.
The Kia,
the red Kia Soul.
The red
Kia
Kia
thing was
Soul.
a piece. But it was absolutely brutal. And again, it felt to me like it was life or death at that point. Now, it wasn't, because I ended up learning that it was anxiety and panic attacks and all that. But that was the first time I'd ever experienced that. So that's what I thought I was talking about in episode 10. I was not, very clearly, because I couldn't grasp that concept. But I feel like that's probably the best example I have of, I don't know, there's something about, like when I got sent to collections because I couldn't pay my car insurance, that's like something that never really goes away. And at the time, it's like unbelievably detrimental. It's like, oh my God, I just fucked my credit up. That sucks. It sucks. You know, you're fighting that for years. Like, that's the type of stuff that you gotta.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
Now, again, this depends on the size of your goals. I'm not saying you gotta push all your chips in the center and say I'm all in, but that's what this means to me. How seriously do you take it when you have to choose between this or something else? Do you choose your dreams? Do you choose the mission? Do you choose the goals? That now makes way more sense to me. One of the reasons we have gotten here is just because we didn't stop.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how much that
matters.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
You remember that situationship where you could tell she thought the podcast...
Out of fucking nowhere, he hits me with it.
Yes. The podcast was like cute.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, in hindsight, I've had some memories coming back. We've been doing a lot of reminiscing lately. Shout out to Odette, by the way. She's a client and a listener, and she gave us a feature, the top 10 most embarrassing moments, the episode.
Nice.
She gave us a feature in her blog this
Thank
week.
you, Odette.
Thank you, Odette.
Appreciate that.
She features us a lot, man. Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes. I was headed to Mohegan way back. This is during those times when you were in the situationship and I was with my ex. And we were going to Mohegan. And I'll never forget, we were driving there. I was driving. And you had called me or some shit. And she was like, we'll just call him back tomorrow. And I tried to explain. She's like, not tonight, though. Don't worry about it. I said, no, he doesn't call me for no reason. This is my business partner.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, it's so obvious. She didn't take us seriously.
Yeah.
And whatever. I should have known that. But I remember thinking, like, no, I have to call him back. This is my business partner. And I tried to explain. It now makes sense why I sounded probably, I don't know if delusional is the right word, but I said, I would die for this. Like, I'm going to call him back now. So I'm going to do that, and you can kindly fuck off. I obviously didn't say that. But, like, do you not understand what I'm doing? I remember having that feeling. Like, you don't understand what this is. This is not a joke. Like, this is not a side prod. This isn't some fun YouTube channel that I'm trying out. Like, this is my livelihood. And back when you don't have results, it's so hard to convince people that you're serious. It's so hard. Now I'm on a podcast. I was on a podcast earlier, and I said, yeah, we, ended up surpassing, we do an episode a day. We've been doing an episode a day every day for probably five or 6 years. And he's like, what? I was like, oh, yeah. We just did, I think it's 2090 was the last. And he's like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, so that's just what we didn't have back in the day.
For sure.
This dude just knows now. Like, we don't... Dude, back in the day, I didn't understand that. I'm just as serious now as I was back then.
It's about what you've done, not what you're going to do. That's
the dumbest shit ever, dude. Straight up.
It makes sense to me logically, though.
It's already done in here.
Well, yeah, but nobody knows that. Ugh. Nobody knows that.
I don't need you to believe in me now. I needed it back then, for fuck's sake. Obviously, I'm being playful. But anyone out there who is a dream chaser, you do need a level of commitment that is going to appear crazy. You do. Sure.
I feel like I could do a better job. I'm not saying it's a disservice, but I feel like that's what needs to come out when I'm talking to people about this.
Yeah.
Because it's like
you and I have been ride or die from the get.
For sure.
Dude, it was never an option. There was no alternative. There was no plan B. There was no
it's not like I don't feel like it.
My plan B was VP of sales for
mine was not that
huge tech company.
Mine was
with
not
Christmas
good.
bonuses. I was broke as a joke saying no to that. $500,000 a year. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And no, the answer is no. All in. I'm talking all in. There is no other option.
I think it's something that is very easy to say, and it's much harder. It's much harder to do. And either I know a lot of people that are like all in way more than the statistical average. That still, it's like you gotta be more all in than you are.
I know.
Oh, you're going out to lunch?
What's the scene with the? You got to do more than that.
You got to do more than that. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. He's like, oh, do less. Do less.
Well,
come on.
You can't do nothing. You got to do more than that.
You do more than that.
That is the hard thing. I think that is the hard thing. I was looking back at old notes from a coaching session I had, and this was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2020. And the person, I said, where do you want to be? Like, what's the goal? What are we trying to do here? And they said, eventually I want to have a 7-figure business. I want to have houses here, 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 and here. And it's like, now when I'm looking back, no, you don't. No, you don't. You never wanted that. Yeah, you never wanted that. And again, understandable. You thought you wanted that.
We need to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Dude, the amount of coaching sessions that I've been on where someone tells me that they want to build a 7-figure business, which is basically just saying $1 million business.
Yep.
That is like very common.
Well,
for me.
Yeah, but everybody says they want. How many people want abs? Everybody wants abs. It's not that. It doesn't matter.
This never lands for me. If I wanted abs, I would just go get abs.
Again, you got to take yourself out of it. Everybody wants the shiny result. Everybody wants that. Everybody wants the 7-figure business, whatever it is. But that's the thing is like, I remember the conversation was, okay, cool. Number one, you have to stop going out to fucking lunch with your friends on Thursday.
100%.
What are we doing here? I'm coaching you on a Thursday at lunchtime. I'm coaching you to make money for the business, to grow the business. And I'm not successful at all at this point. What makes you think you can just go to lunch on a Thursday when I'm ahead of you? That there's no way.
Yeah. Did you say that?
No. Fuck no. No, I thought it though.
Dude, for anyone out there watching or listening, if you get a coach, make sure that they are a strong enough person to tell you the truth.
You need the truth. You
need the truth. I was on a coaching session earlier, and this person's goal is to button up my finances and get a great aligned job. Okay, awesome. There's the goal. I got you. But I'm going to have to tell you a lot of shit you don't want to hear. We went through all of her expenses, and we highlighted at least 7 that could be lowered. And this is someone who's fairly buttoned up. Like, listen, you don't need Netflix, Disney Plus, and YouTube Premium and Amazon Prime. You don't. Like, why do Kevin and I have a multi-million-dollar business and we don't? Like, it's I'm not upset with anyone. I just don't know where we went wrong. Like, we've gone wrong somewhere by not realizing sacrifice is a part of the fucking equation. I lived with my mother at 28 years old after being a 1% global fucking earner. Dude, that's why we're here today.
I know.
I drove a fucking 2009 Subaru while making well over 6 figures in my own coaching practice. I made well over 6 figures in my own coaching practice driving a 2009. Like, I just don't understand. Like, sacrifice is the only way to success, period. There is no exception.
Well, okay, imagine this. Somebody says they want something they don't actually want. Their behaviors are not going to be in alignment with the actual result.
Behaviors in alignment is what matters. Wanting is the first step.
100%.
Everything after that is behavior.
That's
and
it's
metrics.
so. Some people think about it. Some people talk about it. Some people act about it. Some people do it. Some people are it. And I think again, there's a lot of people in the first 3 buckets of that. And I'm not even making understandably. I know.
Yeah.
I was looking at this recently, and I said this to someone because this is really good data for me. I said, out of the 1,000 podcasts I've been on, 40% of them probably are no longer alive.
Yeah.
Just gone. Completely.
Yeah, forever.
Some of the episodes I didn't even get released because their podcast died before then. And again, you're testing out the waters, all good. I'm not making that wrong. But how many of them said they wanted to be the next Barstool or whatever? A lot of them probably did.
Well, this is why I want you and I to talk more about mindset, because that is, we don't talk about it enough. I sent an image to my client earlier. Mindset, method, and motivation. I'm not motivated. Well, you better get motivated quick, because I did some research. There's 137,000 new online businesses per fucking day. You can't. I never understood, and again, I'm not trying to be mean. You can't want to start an online business and then I still want to go to lunch and I still want to enjoy myself. That's like wanting to be in the NBA but not wanting to go to practice.
No, it's that's the thing, is it's not, because the NBA has requirements to get into. Starting a business is easy as shit. You pay your state $500 or whatever it is. Yeah. You get yourself an LLC. You're off to the races.
Mindset. The mindset should be the same.
I know. When the barrier to entry lowers, the failure rate increases.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
I think it's just human nature. I think it always will be. It always will be.
I care, and I care so much about our listeners' success that I want, and I said this in the meetup yesterday, and I know we got to jump. I said, this is how I opened it. Listen, Kevin's not here. I'm kidding. That's not how I opened it. I said, listen, I don't really care about anything except for one thing. You're all here by consent. You don't have to be here. This is private. Okay? I'm here for one thing, to help you reach your potential. I don't give a shit about anything else. I'm going to offend you. I'm going to trigger you. And just trust, please, please. All I care about is one thing.
Fucking meetups have gone off the rails since I left. I can see.
Helping you reach your potential. I said I will be respectful, but that is why we're here. And if you don't want to be here for me helping you actually reach your potential by telling you the truth of what I've actually learned, then you can leave, and that's okay. We can't all just be so fluffy with each other all the time. No. I'm so glad that you're starting to be more you, because behind the scenes, you've always been this way. You're so much more committed than anyone else knows, and so much more committed than our laughs and jokes indicate.
But I also understand that it's a fine line of, I want to make sure I bridge the gap. I want to make sure I bridge the gap, because the truth is, that is the thing, is I do want it more. Yeah, I want this more than anybody could possibly know / anybody I've ever personally met, other than 5 people. I want this more than anything.
Nice.
I don't wake up in the morning because I want to. I didn't get out of bed today at 6 to go to the gym because I wanted. It's just necessary. It's just what it takes. It is what it is. It feels like Groundhog Day. It is what it is. But that's what I signed up for. You're going to have to make your own agreement with yourself to do that level of whatever that personal level is. Again, it's not necessarily going to be the same thing. I could not tell you. I get up at 6 every day. I couldn't tell you the last time I didn't get up at 6. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter. Every day I get up at 6. That's just what I do now. I don't like it. Not that I enjoy it, but that my belief is that is what it'll take. And to me, it is. It's outside of Taryn. This is the thing. This is Taryn's the most important person. This is the most important thing. And there's very little else for a reason. All right, what's your next level lesson before we get out of here?
This is a great episode, man.
This was a great episode. I enjoyed this very much.
My next level lesson is you have have to sacrifice the now to get to the greater. Stop avoiding that. Like, dude, you know how many times I sit myself down in my own head and I say, Alan, stop avoiding it. Like, do the hard shit. There's no shortcut. There's no fucking cheat code. There's no work a little smarter. Like, just go. What are we doing? Stop looking for the quick fix. Half the books I download, it's like I have to return them because they might as well be, here's a quick fix that isn't real. Yeah. There is no quick fix. Do yourself a favor. Your future self will thank you. Stop looking for the quick fix. This podcast is not a quick fix. If you don't listen every day, it won't do shit for you.
Mine would be if you are more focused or more intentional or more pulled or pushed towards things that aren't your goals, you're going to get really good at those things and you're going to get results in those things, but you're not going to get results in goals. Because you can't, it just doesn't work that way. If your goal is to have the best relationship possible and you spend half of your time doing fantasy football shit, your relationship's not going to be that good. It's just nice. But you're going to know way more than I do about fantasy football because I don't put any time into that. But that's not the result you want. That's not the result you said you wanted. You said you wanted an amazing relationship. Now, it doesn't have to be 100% zero, but that, right? That's I can't say one of my goals is to save money and then spend money on dumb shit.
Nice.
It just doesn't add up. All right, cool. If you're looking for a daily dose of maybe a gentle kick in the ass or inspiration or motivation, depending on the day, we'll have our, no, that's not it. We'll have our private Facebook group, Next Level Nation, in the show notes. We'd love to have you in there.
I think I might have a booger on this thing. Next Level Dreamliner. Every single day, top 3 gratitudes, top 3 most important tasks, most important win, most important improvement, and your next level lesson. Get better every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. This will make you more productive. I notice when I don't do it. It will make you more productive. It's called the Dreamliner, the Next Level Dreamliner. It's going to help you get to your dreams.
As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Keep it next level. Next Level Nation.